Today is December 3rd, 2003. It's the middle of the night. Can't sleep. I heard idiots walking by my apartment last night. Well, we all know they couldn't ask her to stay quiet. And da-da-da-da-da. Okay? And, I hate when, in the stupid case, everybody acting so stupid. Some guy in a drive-thru said, I found out they got away with murder here. Because some idiot's running around saying she's weird with herself. It's photoshopped of washing. By a serial rapist and a human trafficker. Okay? And a sextortion scheme. It's a sextortion scheme. See where those agents made fun of me on a recorded line? For some guy named Pete framing me? And I've never even talked to Pete yet. I've never met my rapist. And them mocking me for a human trafficker. Running a sextortion scheme on me. And they didn't arrest him. Some serial rapist. That had been beating me and raping me all summer. And drugging me up and telling me say stuff. And photoshopping a washing scene. And those federal police officers made fun of me for that man victimizing me. Mocked me on a recorded line. How this man's scamming me. How I didn't know. I didn't even know who they were talking about. Like some investigator said, when you realize she's never talked to anybody, it hits levels of not funny. Like scary movie, not funny. Get that idea? There was nothing for those federal cops to laugh at. Andrew Arabic in Ravenna was going on people's Facebook and Instagram. Okay? Photoshopping pictures. Friend and some get some embarrassing photos, try to extort money out of them. Photoshopping them. Do you know what happened to him? It's called sextortion. $12 to 15 years. What was to happen to Pete and Dave? Why is Andrew Arabic in jail? Because he broke a law. He tried to get money by either getting pictures of somebody exposed and then try to get money out of them. Or photoshopping so it looks like they were. It's called sextortion. You can never take a picture of someone naked, completely naked, without their permission, or you go to jail. They're considered peeking tomboys, or you're considered a sexual predator the rest of your life, and you go to jail. You try to get money out of it, it's sextortion. It's 12 to 15 years federal crime. So why would some retired judge that my ex-husband is dating his daughter? Can't touch things with conflict of interest either. Retired judges have no authority. Like Officer Reinhardt in Louisville, Portage County can't work a case against you your whole life. They get thrown out and they go to jail for conflict of interest. It's 1 to 10 years for every constitutional right broke. And then 1 to 10 for conflict of interest. Without the fines. And like Officer Reinhardt in Louisville, even the FBI would go to jail outside a protected light case with statements. And they can't even look or listen to it. It's illegal to look and listen. It's a constitutional right of the right to privacy. A right to remain quiet. A right to an attorney. And a right to a fair court trial. They can never be in your home No one can, except for a protective light case with statements. That's it. It's entrapment. If police or agencies do it and they go to jail, that's where my friend from the prosecutor's office. It's a fraud scheme, Karen. Where they kicked in your door, they probably did set up button cameras. They probably did Photoshop that washing scene they're all talking about. And where you had bruises you couldn't explain and you were so sick, they probably did drug you up until you say something stupid. That's why, and you've never talked to anybody. It's a fraud scheme, Karen. That's why they made fun of FBI Agent John, Lighthouse Tabernacle, how they fooled him. But how could they fool him? See, my friend Jim, he's a neighbor on the other street. His son edits movies for a living. He's got an app in his phone. He said he could Photoshop that washing scene by clicking and pasting. He could click and paste clothes on you so you look like you're standing there being crazy. He could Photoshop words out of sentences and retape it over and make a whole new sentence. And he could do all that. He could put your head on somebody else's body. Everybody knows they can do this. I've talked to sheriffs out of this area. What's wrong with your local police? Are they slow? Everything's digital. Nothing's been trustworthy for years. Nobody had a right in your home. And they knew they could do that. I have another friend that has a friend on Facebook that actually works for Facebook, said they were actually doing stuff like that to people on Facebook, trying to extort money and ruin people. He told me that 5 years ago. He had heard of them doing it. His friend that works for Facebook knew Facebook, they were doing stuff like that to people. And setting off hate crimes. So the feds would know that. Because why did they arrest Andrew Ehrbeck and not retire Judge Pete with no authority for his baby girl? Like they said, the people that were helping out actually thought that family was that pathetic. Because do you have to get your baby girl a man, kick in the wife's door and stalk her? No, for God's sakes, no. Do you have to break in and date rape drug her and tell her to say something stupid trying to frame her? No. Do you leave her beat the poor wife of your daughter, her husband, dating this poor woman's husband behind her back? That the wife, you're framing her? Do you have to sink that low? To break in and date rape drug her, beat and rape her? Leave the poor thing throwing up, bruised, and infected? And didn't know what happened to her and drag her up and tell her to say something stupid? And then stalk her and Photoshop a washing scene in the other room? And set off a hate crime? Are you that pathetic? Like they said, the ones that were helping out actually thought that family was that pathetic because they had to sing so low. Trying to marry off their daughter. They actually, where that mother break from it's my daughter they did all this for. Like it was so great. They did it because they thought they were that pathetic. That they had to sink that low so they helped them. And then they didn't get it and they broke up in 19. September 3rd, 23, Michelle outside Kohl's was out there screaming, these people better not be saying stuff to her. That idiot already confessed he photoshopped everything. November 18, 22, Walmart 62, Eric came in and confessed he photoshopped everything. Lighthouse made fun of the FBI June 7th, 23, how they fooled him. How could they fool him? Like they said, November 20th, 23, they paid off Will. They paid off that federal agent. That's why my ex-husband left the country and said he's never coming back. And that Pete taped Will taking a payoff. Like they said, Will could turn around this on Pete really quick. See, like the Portage County Sheriff's, what these people did is illegal. We didn't have any knowledge of it. It was none of our officers in your home. Outside the protective light case with statements, that would be illegal. It's entrapment. It's illegal search and seizure. See, that's where my friend from the prosecutor's office. I heard of a weird case of an officer surveillancing somebody on their own. He found out, and the guy went to a judge. He pulled that cop in front of him. You knew better than being in his home. He has a right to privacy. No, I could never look or listen. Why? Because the judge would go to jail. Like Reinhardt said, you don't realize how illegal it is to even look or listen to it. We're on a recorded line. They made fun of me for some man that had been stalking me, raping me, leaving me bruised and infected. There was times right after the 6th day where someone kicked in my door. By the 2nd week, I almost collapsed in the neighbor. I kept it out in the front yard. I didn't know what happened to me. Here I've been drugged, being raped in my own home. I had bruises I couldn't explain. My heart was racing. I almost passed out in front of the neighbor. It kept happening. I went to all my family physicians. I've got these bruises. I don't know where they came from. My muscles hurt. Did you fall? No. Maybe you're becoming anemic. They gave me iron pills. And because I went from regular water to well water, I thought it was eating my skin. My private area was so swollen, I could hardly go to the bathroom from being raped. And I thought it was the well water. And I had a headache, and my heart was racing, and I was almost passing out. They were treating me for the headaches, the vomiting. They induced vomiting so bad my stomach shifted. We're going to put it that way. There was nothing for those federal officers to laugh at. Well, we could use Pete's tape of weird. It's washing in the other room. That's why nobody knew about it. It's photoshopped of washing in a sextortion scheme. And then we could use Pete's of the da-da-da. I've never talked to Pete. I've never met him. I didn't even know who he was for a year. And they're making fun of some sexual predator, some serial rapist preying on victims in their home, running scams on them. On a recorded line, like they said the FBI made fun of her for being raped. The FBI made fun of her for being drug beaten, raped, and human trafficking because they were using amnesia drugs. She didn't know what was happening to her. The doctor, because I'd never seen anybody and I never talked to anybody, didn't think of a sexual predator breaking in my home, drug beating, raping me. And the FBI made fun of me for being a human trafficking victim that was being scammed by the drug cartel. Pete's part of the Mexican drug cartel. The Florida group. His son drives one of the gray trucks. I found out who he was later. He's the one that tried to kill me on 12/21/18. Stabbed me in the neck of the refrigerator and bashed my skull in. And beat and raped me, when he got done, cleaned up and left his coma and de-stressor. In the break, he did it. He's part of the Florida human traffickers, selling people, scamming people out of money. And what were those federal officers laughing at? A rape victim that's being scammed by the drug cartel. It's washing in the other room. In the sextortion scheme. Like they said, those people have already admitted to a shower scene in the other room. They admitted they were taping in the bathroom. They obtained and dispensed kiddie porn. Of little kids using the bathroom, we all know they did. And those cops didn't arrest them. In a sextortion scheme. For admitting that they were using sodium pentothal on me, a lethal outlaw drug you lie under. And they were date raped and they knew they couldn't get it. And spy flick movie stuff. And that they were scamming some victim. And they made fun of the victim on a recorded line. Like they said, November 20th, 23, they paid off Will. And they said on the 19th, and Pete taped Will taking a payoff. Outside Burger King and then in Walmart that he took a bribe. He's been stealing my money. On November 6th, 23, ladies said they talked to the officers. Watch me, that he sold the money he's dating for some girlfriend he has. They said on December 2nd, 22, he stole it since the first day. He's been embezzling from the feds. Now, will FBI agent Will and FBI agent John, are you really that dirty? Or was that an act to get the drug dealers, to go get the human traffickers? Because you realized everything was photoshopped. Michelle confessed everything was photoshopped. September 3rd, 23, told these people stop saying stuff to me. Now this is funny. She broke up with Dave right after the divorce. It was no longer fun. She was 18. Destroying a human being. And that idiot already confessed. She broke up with him 4 years ago. They did all this in vain. And where they tried to help Dave get everything, he threw it away and fled the country when they admitted they paid off Will. The next day he fled the country. He threw everything away. They did all this in vain. He's fled the country. Because why? They admitted to bribing a federal cop to get away with human trafficking me. Under drugs. They admitted to human trafficking me. And I'm going to put it this way, FBI. We're going to put it this way. Are you going to say you went along with this and it was an act to go after the human traffickers to save lives? But then you sacrificed me. Why didn't my life matter? Why didn't I matter that I was being human trafficked? Why didn't I matter as a victim? You sacrificed me to save hundreds, but why wasn't I worth saving? Why didn't my life matter? Why didn't I matter as a human trafficking victim? Why didn't I matter? Why did I matter that they were trying to kill me? Why didn't I matter? Why didn't you think that me being a human being and my humanity didn't matter? Why wasn't I worth saving? And why was I so suspendable that you could just throw me away too? And use me to let them to go save hundreds? Huh? The deal was for Dave and the churches to get information, and you got a fentanyl king? A man impersonating a prince from Africa, scamming people out of hundreds and thousands of bad guys. And where I call it a nationwide human trafficking scam, because they all came here and ran a scam, they call it countrywide. And that they got offered me almost being murdered in human trafficking. Where that guy walked by, we know they could never ask her to stay quiet. We know that. They confessed they had the Vegas in their office. And where that agent admitted he had the Vegas in his office and the church people and tried to blame me like a crazy occult person. Where that minister made up that you were faking you were sick and thinking you got well. While that family was grieving. 6 months later, when he thought he caught his son in adultery, and there's a documented medication error, documented medical malpractice, and they're taking all their hurt and pain of her father killing himself and their kid. And because some minister lied on me 6 months later, wanted to kill me. Huh? Want to kill me. Because they just want to kill somebody. And they're making up an excuse to kill someone. To take their hurt and pain out on somebody else. They actually have the phone call with their stalking tapes of where I didn't hang up, but the church has taken up $25,000, and it was Keith Bishop, strange and wrong, because Ron wants me dead because he wants to kill somebody. That Dave and Jack had this plan since March. So, because I wouldn't give up everything willingly. And Dave threw everything away and fled the country. He should go to jail for human trafficking me to Pete. I told you by the second week, I almost collapsed in front of the neighbor. I kept going to Altman Family Physicians. I don't know what's wrong with me. My head's killing, my heart's racing, I've been almost passing out. I got all these bruises, and I don't know where they came from. My muscles hurt. We'll get you some muscle relaxers. Maybe if you come anemic, we'll get you some iron pills. We'll get you some for the headache. My personal area is so swollen and infected. I don't know if it's the well water. The difference from going from regular water to well water, I can't hardly be. I had to be on pills and creams. Here I'm being drugged, beaten, raped under drugs. And that idiot is drugging me up and telling me to say stuff under date rape drugs, so I wouldn't know. And photoshopping, I heard of washing in the other room. Like Jim said, his son edits movies for a living. He could Photoshop the washing scene from the shower in the other room. He could click and paste clothes on you. Tape over it so it looks like you're crazy standing there washing with clothes on. He could take sentences, words out of sentences, and re-Photoshop into another whole different sentence. And then tape over it so it makes a new tape. I've talked to sheriffs out of this area. They already knew they could do that. And date rape drugs, you're sleepwalking for 4 to 6 hours with no memory. That's how they get women to leave bars with them and willingly have sex with them, and they don't know what happened to them when it wears off. My co-worker, Dar, got taken from a bar and willingly left with people she don't remember meeting. She's raising somebody's kid she's never met. They could have told her to say something stupid and she wouldn't have known it. My neighbor Mike got roofied in a bar. Came up to me, didn't know how he got home, didn't know how he got money in his pocket, and what he had ate that night. Yeah, and tried to tell me he was a New York cop. And when I told him he don't even remember saying that. I could have told him to say anything stupid in the world. And he would have said it and taped him, and he would have never known it. Like the sheriff said, what's wrong with your local police? Are they slow? They already knew they could do that for years, and date rape drugs are so bad. You're sleepwalking for 4 to 6 hours under someone else's control. So why is retired Judge Pete and his family with no authority allowed to break in people's homes and stalk them when there's a Fourth Amendment over the house? Why are they allowed to run sextortion schemes on people of photoshopping them and showering? Why are they allowed to date, rape, drug people up and tell them to say something stupid and try to extort money? They were to be arrested the first day, not the victim being made fun of. So FBI, I'd like my money. The deal was for Dave and the church people. And you got human traffickers. You need to sweeten the deal. Like some guy said, we knew they couldn't stay quiet. Tell her to stay quiet. And they also knew everything could be photoshopped. They've made fun of the feds. They've already confessed they photoshopped everything and drugged everything and made fun of the feds for making fun of them, for falling for it. I don't believe they fell for it. Like they said, they paid them all. The drug cartel paid off a sheriff in Ohio $100,000. Look the other way. How much they give Will and John? They need to be turning this back around on them. Then they need to go get Dave, whatever country he's in, and bring him back for human trafficking me. He let men rape me. Before I called the FBI, do you know that agent told the Apostolic Church of Barberton he knew I was being drug beat and raped, and he said he didn't care, and he tried to blame the Vegas. And strange as pathetic lie. He told everybody at Apostolic Church of Barberton that. People came up to me, went up to that church, and he did tell all those people that. He was already seen and taped being with my talking to my husband and for telling on me to that church and accepting a bribe. I sent this into the Department of Justice. And with his own confession, he talked to the Vegas, the church people, and made fun of me for some sextortionist Pete that was scamming me of photoshopping and washing and drug confessions. I've never met him. Like an investigator said, when you realize she's never talked to anybody, those thought of a tape before, it's really not funny. Like scary movie. Not funny. I've never even talked to him. Investigators in Akron don't tell people, don't say a word to her. She's never even met the man that did it to her. He's a serial rapist scamming.